Hello guys and welcome back to Unit 8, Programming in our GCSE Computer Science course. Today's lesson is about sequence and selection, a fundamental part of programming which is fairly simple to understand, where in this lesson we need to understand the use and concept of sequence and selection, which includes if and case statements. So these two terms we have come across in Unit 7, and just like the last lesson, we will be using these in Python and comparing the two languages, but more importantly, gaining an understanding of when and where sequence and selection are used within programming. So if we start with the term sequence, and all sequence means is that when lines of code are written in a program, they are executed one after the other. We covered algorithms quite a lot in Unit 7, and as we will have seen, all algorithms start from the top of the sequence and work down in a sequential manner. This is the default flow of a program where each step simply follows the one before it. As you can see here, step 1 is executed, step 2 is executed, and then step 3 is executed after step 2. So sequence means programs are run in a sequential manner from top to bottom. And if I just run a really basic program in Python demonstrating what we've just discussed, I have 3 print statements, print number 1, 2, and 3. And if I run this, it simply prints out number 1, 2, and 3 in that order. If I change this to 3, change this to 2, and run it again, it is still executed in the order that I've written it, 1, 3, 2, and over here, 1, 3, 2. So really simple, sequencing simply means that instructions are executed one after the other. Then if we look at selection, selection refers to what we call decision making within programming, but in this case, the decision is being made by the program itself and the lines of code that have been written. Programs can choose different paths or actions based on what we call conditions within the program. So sometimes selection is also called conditioning. If you hear or see the term conditional statement, that will cover these 3 things here, which we call if, else, or case statements. These are the 3 examples of selection or conditional statements in which we need to know for our course. So in our example here, we've got some pseudocode on the left, and if we just follow the sequence of steps, we've got the word if followed by the variable age, and we are checking if the variable age is more than or equal to 18. If it is, this line is executed, but if it isn't, this line is executed. And this is where the word selection comes in. As you can see, only one of these lines will be run depending on what the variable age contains. And the program essentially selects based on the condition. Okay, so that's where these words come into play. A line of code is selected depending on the condition within the program. And like I've mentioned, guys, this is in pseudocode. What we need to be able to do is write this in Python. And as you can see, it's not too dissimilar. We've got a variable called age, which equals 18. And we check if it's more than or equal to 18, in which case we print this line. Otherwise, we print this line. So the words are if and else in Python. You can see we use a colon at the end of each command and 2 basic print statements depending on the condition of the variable. So if we just give this a quick test in Python and we can see what's going on, this time we'll take age as an input. So we'll ask the user to type in their age rather than just storing it manually. Then we use the word if, and we ask if age is more than or equal to 18, colon, we print the statement, you are an adult. We come down, we use the else statement, print, you are a child. And hopefully, if you joined us for the last lesson, you can spot the error already. But let's just run it and see what happens anyway. So we are asked for our age. Let's just try 25. And we have a problem. If we look at the problem, it tells us that the type error, more than or equal to, is not supported because we have a string. So like I said, guys, if you were with us for the previous lesson, you've spotted that as we are working with numbers and we are checking if a number is bigger or smaller than the input, that the default input in this case, age, would have been stored as a string. So what we need to do is declare that it's going to be an integer and then just add some brackets around the input command. As you can see, we've got the age equals int input like we kept saying in the previous lesson. Let's give that a run. 25. And as you can see, it's told me you are an adult. If I run it again and type a number in less than 18, you are a child. So as you can see, either one of these lines of code will be run depending on the condition of the variable. So if else statements, really easy. If one thing is true, do this, otherwise do this. If our programs have multiple conditions that can be true or false, then this is where we'd use what we call a case statement to check for multiple conditions within a program. Here you can see we've got a case of grade. So we are checking a student's grade and we are going to print out a statement depending on what that variable contains. So case of was the command that we looked at in Unit 7. Grade is the variable, and as you can see, if grade is more than 90, we tell the student that they got an A. If they scored more than 80, they got a B, and so on and so forth. So only one of these lines of code will be run depending on the condition of grade. If grade was less than 60, then this line of code will be run, and we can tell them that they got an F. So we can still use what we call the else statement within a case statement, and to say that if all of these cases aren't met, then we just do this one at the end. Now, where this can be a little bit tricky is that case statements don't exist in Python, and what we use instead is called an elif, and elif is shortened from else if. So else if just represents each of these if we were to use a case statement within Python. So as you can see here, we set the grade to equal 85. If grade is more than or equal to 90, we print you got an A, so that will be this line here. Elif grade is more than 80, that's this line here, and so on and so forth. At the end where we've put otherwise, that represents the else in Python, and this is when all of the above cases aren't met, and it's simply the last resort in this condition. So again, let's just give this a little test in Python. We create a grade variable, and we're going to set that as an input for the user to type in. The first condition that we had is if the grade was more than or equal to 90, and hopefully you've spotted the error again. I need to tell Python that it's going to be an integer, so int input, and if it's more than 90, we print you got an A. Let's just give this a quick run to make sure it works as of now. So student grade, they got 100, they got an A. The next case, I'm just going to copy and paste this code to make it easier. And I put elif, it was more than 80. You got a B. 70 was a C. 60 was a D. And the final statement is if the grade is less than 60, then the student has simply failed. So let's give this a quick run. So 85 should be a B. 75 should be a C. 65 a D. And then the else statement at the end, any number lower than 60 should be a fail. So as you can see, guys, this is what we call a case statement in Python, and it's simply if, elif, and else. Now, what you can do is you can use as many elifs as you want in a case statement within Python, depending on how many conditions you have in a certain scenario. So you could have every letter of the alphabet within this one statement, and the program would work as we've just seen. So that is what we call a case statement, guys. And again, in Python, it's just an if, elif, else statement. So to finish off, let's put our skills to the test. And here we have a scenario where a programmer is writing a program that stores data about items stored in a warehouse. Suggest meaningful and suitable names and data types for each of these items. So this is testing our knowledge of the previous lesson, where we looked at variables and data types. And this is exactly what the exam board want us to be able to do, where we can apply our knowledge of programming to different scenarios. And in this case, we're talking about items in a warehouse. So we've got all these things here that we need to identify, and we should be able to recognize that the name of an item would contain text or alphanumeric data. So this will be a string. Again, just to recap on the previous lesson, to declare this variable, we would write declare the name of the variable, which is item name, colon, string. So that's how it looks in pseudocode if we were to declare this variable. The next one would also be a string. The manufacturer name will just be text also, and the description, again, another string. So the first three, not too difficult, they'd all be strings. Number in stock, well, this is going to be some kind of number. Would it be an integer or would it be a real number? Well, number in stock would be a whole number, so it would be an integer. The reorder level also indicates a number, and this refers to the number of items in stock when it needs to be reordered. So again, this will be an integer. And whether the item is on order or not, this indicates true or false. And you should be able to recognize this as a Boolean, something else we discussed in the previous lesson. If we had the price of the item stored, which we haven't, but we should be able to recognize that the price will be a real, as it would contain a decimal number. And then finally, write a program that asks the user to enter their age, check if it's more than 18, and if it is, display this message, and if it's under 18, display this message. At the end, display thank you for using this program. And again, this is doing exactly what we've looked at in this lesson, using sequencing and selection. And if we just go over to Python to do this so we can test it, we create an age variable. We store this as an integer, as we're going to check if it's bigger or less than 18. We prompt the user to enter their age, and then we simply use the word if, and we check if it's more than or equal to 18. And if it is, we print you are eligible to vote. Otherwise, print you are not eligible, using the word else to indicate that it's not more than 18. And then at the end, what we can do is just print thank you for using this program. And the reason why this line of code will be run no matter what, as it's not within our if statement, the indentation is back to the left, so it's back into the main program. And if we just give this a run, please enter your age 25, you are eligible to vote, and thank you for using this program is printed out also. So there you go, guys. You can see the solutions on your screen now. Hopefully you've been able to understand the two terms sequencing and selection, and even more so, I hope you are able to now use them within programming and understand the basics behind them. As always, guys, I hope to see you in the next lesson, and thank you for watching.